So the first thing is Libra tends to look outwards, wants to have everything calm and safe on the outside, and only then will they have time for themselves. So this moon, and even if you're listening to this later, that's what it's activating. Are we more focused on the outside, even though we do inner work, meditate? Is there a need to settle the outside first? So we are focusing on the relationships with others, or the relationship with yourself, or the relationship with your pets, with earth, with your practice, with your job, any relationship. Just feel into it and try and be as honest as possible. So I was going to say, what do you think? And the word think was crossed out, and what is feel? So like in the contracts, what are you saying to yourself? And it might be very petty, but that's exactly where you're at. So for example, my situation was I couldn't get anyone. Supposedly I'm a high valued customer, but I couldn't get anyone to answer my calls to fix what I wanted to have fixed. And I was saying pretty uh, upsetting and negative things in my head, which if I were to share them would be quite embarrassing. But those are what I call contracts. So that is what is going on inside of you. If it's not activated today, it will be activated. It's how I perceive myself in relation to others. And again, partner, friends, children, bank managers, whatever it is. And look at your hands energetically and weigh your hands, your left and your right. If you're right-handed, usually it's you give with your right and you receive with your left. And without necessarily thinking about or feeling about whether you give or receive, just feel your hands. Does one weigh more? Is one more active, more vibrant? Is the other one a little cooler? So the idea here is to create balance, not to judge, just to witness. I can tell you from the group energy field that it is quite out of balance. So overgiving is a way of keeping control, and shutting down the receiving is an act of openness and vulnerability. Receiving could be compliments, pleasure, gratification. So I'm going to speak to your consciousness. It might be very noble to give and to share and to help. But is there replenishment? Is there and just open up your consciousness and bring into the awareness how you were educated, if you were asked to serve or to bring daddy his slippers or fetch the newspaper or fix a cup of coffee. And that was appreciated and valued, and therefore you started valuing yourself as a person that can facilitate. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but if it's out of balance, there we go. So it's starting to move. Okay, interesting. We all know that we need to give to receive, in the manifestations. But if our receiving is shut down, we're just giving, and it seems very slow to fill back up. So it's not that there's no receiving, it's just, but those blocks are our own. So that's where we're going to focus now. Quantum consciousness. Is there or has there ever been any negative connotation about receiving education? Or if I received too much, was there any backlash? Any comment, any karmic imprint with a negative influence on receiving? huge amount. So you don't need to know what it is. Just acknowledge whatever's there. So they're just showing me a lot of people might find it difficult to ask. Um, so witnessing the lack or the imbalance, but having to need to ask, then again, the asking would be a place of vulnerability. I shouldn't need to have to ask. It's implied. So there's that difficulty here. Those who ask don't get. I don't want to be needy. I think we all know the symbol, the yin and yang, the two swirls, but with a little bit of black in the white and a bit of white in the black, the balance. We're going to balance your energy. I was actually going to ask your consciousness to do it, but it's a transmission. There's too much information. They say over lifetimes or this lifetime, however you want to see it, it's so ingrained. So it needs to be put as a structure within your consciousness. So just imagine a positive vibration about equal give and take. If you hold it in your consciousness, it will be shown outside. I can see here imbalances in relationships, separations. So, and we all know that it's a quantum field. So, whatever's inside us is outside us. So, imagine that balance inside. You don't know how, but it's going to become. It is. So, what would it feel like if I was truly balanced? If I didn't have to cover all the bases, run after clients, children, partners, even your relationship with the quantum, the belief that you have to do good, be good to receive good. Here we go. So it's not you accommodating the leveling out, it's quantum consciousness. It's the all putting everything into perspective, into equal give and take and balance. So trust that it will be perfect. You won't lose out or you won't be needy. And so it could be like waves onto shore. Maybe the seventh wave is a bigger wave, but then it balances out. And the same goes for the tide. There's a high tide and a low tide, but it's still always balanced. Doesn't mean I can't give a little bit more certain specific moments, but it will be balanced out. Quantum consciousness, can you find the position? And if you were ever ashamed, there seems to be a theme about if anyone said you're taking too much and you were shamed for it, like taking the last cookie or hoarding, I don't know what else to say, but if there's a feeling of shame there for any reason, just acknowledge it. Yeah, that feels better. So again, imagine the sensation of being fully in balance, even if you don't know what that is. And can you allow yourself to be fully in balance? So what doesn't allow you, even if you're not aware of it, just allow it to come up into your active experience. So if inwardly you can understand the balance, outwardly it has to be shown. So it's not a decision of having to ask or having to push to make the balance on the outside. It's if I have balance inside, it has to show up on the outside. There you go. Anything that was reactivated by what I said, it's like, yes, but how's that going to happen? Up to now, it's never been so. Doesn't matter, just it's as if a scale was being placed inside of you that's equal balance, even if it's not precisely in the same moment. It's like tides. Nearly there. Oh, when my internal give and take, give and receive, receive and give is balanced, even if something was, let's say, stolen, taken away unethically from my consciousness, if I have an equal balance inside of me, it will come to me in a different area. We know this, we hope for it, but if I'm in balance, so if I'm out of balance, the external also needs to put me into balance. And if I get satisfaction, if I get value from overgiving, then you know the universe only says yes. The understanding is you must like overgiving. Therefore, go ahead and do it. But it is putting you out of balance. So you're creating a lack. So you must also like the lack. The universe has no judgment. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Deep breath in and come on back.